Welcome to East Norriton's Yoga in the Park series. My name's Christina and I'm from Chakras Yoga by Christina. So today we are going to do a 30-minute yoga flow that you can do right in the comfort of your house. And I have a special assistant today, and it's my puppy Brady. So he'll be joining us. So grab your mat, grab a towel, grab a blanket. You can do it in your PJs if you're comfortable, and let's get started. So we want to go ahead and do our warm-up with our spine first. We always want to do a warm-up with our spine so that way we avoid any injury. And oftentimes we're sitting pretty stiff during the day. We might be working on our computer, looking at our phone. We want to go ahead and get that spine warmed up so we have no injuries. So we're going to come down to our mat here, and we're going to start out with our cat-cow position here. So with our cat-cow, you want to make sure we're in a tabletop position. Our knees are to the mat, hands are spread out like a starfish, and our wrists are stacked under our elbows, elbows under shoulders, knees under hips. So we're nicely stacked and grounded. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, drop that belly down to the earth, gaze goes upward. Exhale, release into our cat, our spine rounds. Shoulders are rounded and our chin is dropped towards our heart center. Again, inhaling, belly drops down to earth, gaze goes up. Exhale, release into your cat. And we'll just flow this out a few times here. Notice any stiffness you might feel, any tightness. We're going to work that out in our warm-up. 2 more breaths here. One last time. Inhale, dropping to our cow, tailbone goes up. Exhale, release into your cat. Excellent job. We're coming back to neutral spine here. We're going to go ahead from here and go into our thread the needle pose to kind of open up the side of our body. And for our thread the needle, we're going to stay in our tabletop position. As we inhale, bring that right hand up. Exhale, back down under our left shoulder here. Inhaling, come back to tabletop. One more time. Inhale, bring that right hand up, gaze to that right fingertips. Exhale, back down to center of the mat, your head, and your shoulder, your right hand goes under that left shoulder. Hold here for a breath. Excellent job. Back to neutral. Same thing, opposite side this time. Inhale, left arm goes up. Exhale, thread the needle. We're now under that right shoulder, dropping the head to the mat if that's possible. If not, no worries, just leave it elevated up. Inhale again, bring that right arm up. Exhale, or left arm up. Exhale under that right shoulder. Hold here for 2 breaths. And back to center. Excellent job. Now we transition over to our camel's pose. We're going to open up that heart center even more. We want to come on our knees. We call this our hero's position here. If this is a little too much, you can always take a pillow, tuck it right under where your tailbone would be to help cushion if you need that extra support. If not, join me in hero. We're going to go ahead and come up further on our knees. This time we're taking our hands, placing them behind our back. So our hands are pointed down on our lower back. Our gaze comes upward. And as we inhale, open that heart center up towards the sky. Feel that stretch in your shoulders. Notice how your chest opens up. Exhale, bring those arms back around, melt into your child's position. Flow it again. Inhale, bring it back up, coming into our gentle camel. Exhale, back down to our child. With our child's position, see if you can just reach a little further to the back of the room. Feel those arms stretch out, feel that spine grow long. Just hold here for 3 breaths. On that last breath, walk those hands back close to your chest. Come back on those knees and just take a moment to check in with yourself. Notice how your spine feels a little more warmed up. Your body's now feeling that temperature rise a little bit. And we're ready to go into our practice. So we're going to come up into our extended mountain posture, or our mountain posture. And we're going to do a series of half sun salutations. Half sun salutations are less than our full sun salutations. We're just doing a gentle warm up here, kind of get the body going and energy flowing. So half sun salutations could be a great way to start your morning if you want to go ahead and wake up a little easier. Or anytime you just feel a little sluggish throughout your day. Try a few half sun salutations and notice how your energy goes up. So we come into our mountain position here. Our feet are firmly rooted to the earth here. Our knees are soft. We don't want to lock them in. We want to go ahead and bring that spine nice and stacked and long. Core engaged. We're going to go ahead and inhale, bringing those arms up. So we come into our extended mountain pose. As you exhale, come down to a forward fold. If you can touch the floor, great. If not, don't worry about it. Just reach as far as you can go. Inhaling, bring those hands to your shin. We call this our flat back. Exhale, melt back down to that forward fold. Inhaling again, bring those arms back up, extended mountain posture. On your exhale, hands come to prayer down in heart center. Hold here for 2 breaths. Inhaling again, we're going to keep this flow going. We come back to extended mountain. Releasing into that exhale, melt back down, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale, release back to the forward fold. Taking that next breath as we inhale, bring those arms back up, extended mountain. Exhale, palms down to your heart center together in prayer. Keeping it going 3 more times here as we inhale, up, extended mountain. Exhale, coming down to the forward fold. Inhaling again, flat back. Exhale, release back down to forward fold. Inhale, bring yourself back up to extended mountain. Exhaling, bring those palms together to prayer. 2 more times, inhaling. Exhale, you know the routine by now. Inhale, back to flat back. Exhale, release back down to forward fold. Inhale, bring those hands up to heart center, or up to extended mountain, excuse me. Exhaling, release down to our prayer. Again, inhaling. Exhale, release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhaling again, rising up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to prayer. Last time, deep inhale. Make it a bigger stretch than before. Exhale, come back down, forward fold. Inhale to our flat back. Exhale, release back down. Inhale. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves back up here. Exhale, hands to prayer. And just take another moment to check in, seeing how you're feeling. Notice any heat moving through the body, noticing how you're feeling muscles start to wake up. Just take a moment to check in and go inward. Bringing ourselves back to the room here, let's go ahead and come into our goddess squats. So for goddess squats, a few modifications. If you are healing anything or you have any knee issues or any kind of mobility with the hip, you want to go ahead and just take your goddess squat very minimal. So usually our goddess squat consists of coming down pretty low. If you're healing, don't feel the necessary need to come down that low. You want to just keep it a little taller, okay? But if you're able to do the full range of motion, feel free to join me in that. Remember, this is your practice. There's no competition needed, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and set up for our goddess squat. Our feet are about hip distance apart from each other. We wanna keep that core nice and engaged. Gaze is just straight ahead. Hands can come up the sides of our body, or we can leave them in prayer. Taking a breath here, I want you to go ahead and inhale, bring yourself down. While you're here in your goddess squat, no need to hunch forward, making sure you're keeping that core engaged. You're not kind of rounding any shoulders. You want to stay nice and strong in this posture. Hold here for a few breaths if you can. Let's go ahead and come back up. Now that was a little warm up for our flow we're going to go into. So we're going to do a goddess squat into our 5-pointed star. For our 5-pointed star, when we come up from our goddess squat, we want to go ahead, leaving those hands at our side as we come up, and bring them to each side of our body. So one hand will be facing toward the right, other hand to the left. Your toes can be slightly pointed outwards, our 5-pointed star. Inhaling, bring that all in. Exhale, back to 5-pointed star. Remember, if you're healing anything, no need to go that low. Modify by just coming down to a higher squat. Okay? A couple more times here. Inhaling, bring that down to the earth. Remember, no hunching forward. Keep that core engaged. Exhale, release back to 5-pointed star. Inhaling back down to the earth, into our squat. Exhale, 5-pointed star. 2 more times here. Inhale, drop down, goddess squat. Exhale, 5-pointed star. One more time. Inhale. This time we hold for 3 breaths. Exhale, 5-pointed star. Great job. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to go ahead now from our from our goddess squat. With our feet still extended, hip distance apart, knees are still soft. We want to just heel toe out maybe a little more from our mat. So we're now a couple inches on each side of our mat away from it, our big toe. Leaving those knees slightly soft, we're going to go ahead and come into a wide straddle fold. So put your hand on your waist here, both hands on each side of the waist. Inhaling, leading with that heart center, come down to a fold. If you're able to, release those hands and see if you can bring them close to the mat. If you're able to touch the mat, even better. Hold here for 2 breaths. Go ahead now and take those hands and see if you can bring them on each side of your ankle. So your right hand grabbing your right ankle, left hand grabbing your left ankle. Holding here again for a few breaths. Taking that left hand, bring it to meet your right hand over on the right ankle. Notice that stretch you feel now in your hip flexors and your inner thigh. On your next exhale, shift over, both hands now on your left ankle. This time you'll notice an inner thigh engagement on the left thigh. And let's just flow that out a few breaths, getting a good stretch on both sides. Bring those hands back to center here. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll yourself up. Excellent job. Heel toe those feet closer together on your mat. Make sure you're nice and grounded as we come into our balance series for the flow. So for our balance today, we're going to come into a pose called our eagle pose. I had to think for a minute. Forgot what it was called. So with our eagle pose is very similar to our tree. We're using one foot to balance. So for eagle, you have an option. You can either, our full eagle will involve us going over one leg, crossing over, and coming almost into a chair position. If you're healing anything or you might have any issues with balance, don't feel the need to do so. Just cross that foot over if you can, and you would just twist your arms and stay like that for your eagle, okay? Either way, you're still getting the full benefit of the posture. So let's go ahead and set up for eagle. We want to go ahead and stay that left foot close to, like firmly planted on the mat. Spread those toes nice and wide, almost like you're picturing roots coming out of your feet. Right foot is light. So with your right foot, you're feeling that grow lighter, okay? Find your drishti in the room. Your drishti is your non-moving object, usually is eye level or higher. You want to make sure you're focusing on something that's not moving to help you regain your balance in this pose. Go ahead and take that right foot, cross it over your left foot, okay? Taking your arms, we're going to go ahead and cross your arms, twisting them over, okay? So our palms touch. If your palms are not able to touch, no worries, just cross them over to the best of your ability. Taking that breath, inhaling, focusing on your drishti. Bring that leg up and come down almost into a seated position like your chair. Remember, keep that spine engaged, core nice and tight. Don't hunch, don't round. Just hold. Breathing here for 5 breaths. If you can go lower into the pose, by all means, feel free to do so. And release back up, uncross those legs, shake out that foot. As we go through our series and work on balance, you'll notice your balance will improve each time. Also keep practicing, that's the best way to improve it. Same thing, opposite side. So our right foot is now heavy on the mat. Left foot is nice and light. Again, find your non-moving object in the room. Take that left foot, cross it over. If your eagle pose stops here, that's fine. If you can do it a little more into the posture, go ahead and join me by crossing it over, lifting that left foot up, coming down to a seated flow. Again, twisting those arms, finding your drishti, holding here for 5 breaths. And uncross and release, shake it out. Great job. So keep at that. We'll still work on that each time. We'll do a different balance posture. But as you keep working and practicing, you'll notice improvements with your body. Let's go ahead and take another breath. Inhaling, bringing those arms up, extended mountain. Exhale, join me down to a forward fold. And let's drop down to our tabletop. Okay, from our tabletop, we're gonna go ahead and let's just drop our left hip. Coming into a seated position here. Okay. Let's take our feet. Soles of our feet are touching. We want to take our hands, grasping our ankles here. So we're in what we call a cobbler pose. If you are having any issues with knee, or you're healing, or maybe your hips are a little tight, what you can do is go ahead and grab some yoga blocks, prop those right under that knee area as you still bound your ankles with your wrists or your hands. If you don't have any yoga blocks, books work, telephone book, cans, bottles, whatever you have that can kind of fit under and help you prop up. Even blankets, stacked blankets will work. So always modify as needed. We all have different levels of movement and flexibility. So there's no shame in using the prop to help engage and improve your yoga practice. So we're going to head, leaving those hands on our ankles, soles of the feet touching. We're going to come into a butterfly pose. As we inhale, bring those thighs, or excuse me, those knees up towards your chest. Exhale, bring them back down flat against the earth. Inhaling again, knees come up. Exhale. Release back down. And we'll keep this flow going for a few times. You can see why they call it a butterfly. Your thighs, your knees, they're all kind of moving in the way a butterfly's wings would go. Remember again, keep that core engaged and remember to breathe. Three more times here. Last time. Excellent job. Bring those knees down to rest. Let's go ahead and come into a forward fold with our heart center leading. Sitting up nice and tall, core engaged, inhaling. As you exhale through the mouth, lead with that heart center coming into a forward fold. Now your forward fold might stop a little further back, or if you're able to go further into the bend, by all means, you can do that. Hold here, remember to breathe. You're going to notice that engagement you're feeling in those inner thigh muscles. On your next exhale, slowly rise back up. Relaxing. Excellent job. Let's go ahead now and come on our bellies. Setting up for our locust posture. So for locust, two options here. A full locust, you might know, is also what they call in the gym called a Superman pose. With our locust or Superman, our chest comes up when we're engaged in the practice or in the pose. Our wrists are up, our arms are up, our feet are up, our calves are up. We try to lift those thigh muscles up too. We're engaging all the front of our body here as well as our back. If that's a little too much for you today, I invite you to leave your chest to the earth, and just when we come into our engagement of this practice or this posture, go ahead and lift just those feet up, those legs. It's just half your body would come off the mat, okay? You'll know what's right for you. So when we get ready to take that next inhale, just go with that. All right, taking a breath here as we inhale. Raise up that heart center, raise up those arms, raise up those thigh muscles, the calves, your feet, toes are pointed. Hold here for a breath. Next exhale, melt back down. Relax for 2 breaths here. Next inhale, again repeating. Back up to our locust. Exhale, release back down. Hold here again, 2 breaths. One last time here, deep inhale. See Brady's come to join us. Exhale, melt back down. Excellent job. Come back up. Roll over now into your back. I'll turn this way so you can see. We're going to set up for our bridge posture. For our bridge posture, your knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the earth. You want your hands down to the mat. And you want to have hands down to the mat on each side of your hip. Brady's excited about this one, as you can tell. As we inhale, let's go ahead and lift up our hip area, our pelvic bone area up towards the sky here. Exhale, melt back down to the earth. I don't think Brady's now a fan of me doing bridge anymore. Inhaling again, bring it back up. Exhaling, come back down to the earth. One more time here. Inhaling, lifting that pelvic area up, holding here for 3 breaths. Exhale, release back down to the earth. Great job. Go ahead and bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug here, just a little ball posture. let's go ahead and come to stillness with that. Taking those knees, leaving them still bent. We want to go ahead and take those feet now. Have the soles of the feet facing each other. See if you can grab the sides of your feet or your ankles and bring your legs just to come a little further apart. So we call this our happy baby posture. We're just opening up our hips a little more, signaling to our body it's time for a cool down. With happy baby, you can take a little rock here. Notice that the body is starting to slow down with the breathing. We're starting to come to that cooling phase. And we'll just hold this posture for 3 more breaths here. Coming to stillness, let's go ahead and set up for our final posture. Excuse me, Brady. This is probably me and Brady's favorite posture, our Shavasana. So with our Shavasana, we call this our final relaxation pose. I'm sure that if you guys have kids at home or, pets, you know how it feels to kind of try to get your own personal time here. Doesn't work with everybody, as you can see. Me and Brady are just we're not yoga buddies all the time. So let's go ahead and set up for our Shavasana. You can bring your back to the earth here. Relax your feet, relax your toes, relax those eyes, relax the hands, your teeth, your mouth. And just let it all go. Shavasana is our time we honor our body for the work it's done. And we honor that by signaling a relaxation. Eyes can dim, but you can leave them open, whatever's comfortable to you. If you want to grab a blanket, you can grab a blanket and cover up. But just stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need. So again, no rush, stay in that Shavasana. If you feel like you've got enough out of this practice, feel free to join me. Again, it's up to you as we come into closing our practice. Notice how your body feels a lot more open. You don't feel the stiffness like you did maybe in the beginning before you started this. Inhaling, taking a deep breath up, bring those hands extended. Exhaling, bring them down. One more time here, inhaling, arms up. As you exhale, bring those hands to prayer at heart center and just honor yourselves for doing the work today. We might have busy lives with work, working from home, adjusting to this new routine, kids, families, pets in my case. But that's okay, as part of life, we adjust. And until we meet again, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.